made. It seems like both players are relatively attached to their characters. Of course, we know Raydish has been playing this Petra, changes up the skin, but generally is still on that Petra. On the other side, throughout 2023, Anime has been playing this Caspian.
Yeah, he's reported this Caspian 18 different times in official events. And that's kind of rare. We have seen some top players like talk up Caspian as like, oh, he's this major nightmare that everybody's sleeping on. And then we've seen them like have some middling success when they make the swap like mid-tournament, mid-set. But we've never really seen any like Omega dedicated Caspian players. So Anime could be a rare breed here going against another rare breed, Radish, a Petra player.
Yeah, you don't see too many people commit to these characters the way that these two have. Right now, though, Raydish struggling just a little bit. He's not finding any extended strings. Anime is getting these taps in responses to Raydish, and actually Anime with that slight damage advantage.
Now, some of this could be due largely, in fact, to the way that Anime is playing right now. You're seeing him put a lot of space in between him and Raydish before choosing to go in. So he's, you know, kind of running around the stage. He's using that high speed that that Caspian has. He's going to kind of couple that with the high strength that Caspian has, so he can get fewer hits because each individual hit, you know, counts a little bit more, especially when we start to bring signatures into play, which is one of the things that people will really talk up Caspian for. It's not really for the weapon combination, given that both of them don't really have the most consistent KO setups, don't do the highest damage per move. They kind of fulfill similar jobs while doing it in slightly different ways, but it's that signature kit that people really point to.
Yeah, those projectile signatures, also the power of like that gauntlet side sig, that reversal. We've seen that be incredibly effective, but right now needs a little bit more damage before he can start thinking about those signatures. Raydish trying to play that spacey game, catches the two-piece onto Anime. Side sig thrown out, that's going to be a punish.
Also picked up the weapon toss there.
Ooh.
Oh, gets the nice three-piece with the GC in sig. Got down and around that corner. The side sig is going to miss, but the second one picks up, and the only thing Radish was able to find for a punish was that side air. But Anime was still in the orange, so not a rough spot whatsoever. Didn't send him flying, didn't send him into an edge guard or disadvantage state, anything like that. So Anime has a nice lead here.
Yeah, things are looking pretty solid for Anime. The underdog in this one, I mean, looking at that viewer count, like I think he was less than double digits in terms of people rooting for him, but right now he is showing them all up.
Which is crazy because we have a weeb audience for Brawlhalla. Like,
I know,
that's
right?
all that anyone ever talks about.
It's because his clan tag isn't like Blue Lock. Ooh, caught the dodge down.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, he was ready to wait for that one.
Side air, still not enough. Despite the high strength of Petra, not enough, but he creeds with the sig to cover the wall and will clean up the stock count, but he is still behind.
After that neutral air, he's still going to be in the deep stages of orange, maybe the beginning stages of red. Ooh, Anime didn't want to commit. Still hit that recovery, so it wouldn't have been a KO option if he did hit the recovery before. Trying to be a little bit more careful here. He knows he can close this one out and go up early with a game one victory against Raydish. That would be big for the confidence, big for the momentum.
Yeah, it would be nice if Anime can take this one. Of course, he will with the side air. Anime takes game number one. He's having his Anime moment. It's time for the protagonist powers to activate.
Now he did 580 damage, not too bad, maybe a little bit on the high side, but when we're looking at a legend that has inconsistent KO options, and if you're looking at a legend like the Petra, which is going to have, you know, a fair bit of defense, not necessarily the most, especially when you're going into the movement speed stance, but when you don't have those consistent KO options, that could be why those damage numbers are taking a little bit longer, getting a little bit higher for Anime.
Also looking at the weapons he predominantly used, he leaned very heavily onto those Katars, 426 damage put out. Generally, you'll see those numbers kind of creep up a little bit higher because Katars don't have that consistent tool of like a downlight side air to knock out or anything like that.
Anime gonna kind of stay grounded, maybe moving up just a little bit. Now we are here again on Apocalypse with that soft platform there. Anime looking to reach up with those gauntlet nairs.
Raydish leaning on this orb a little bit. He does actually have the health advantage, but you're seeing him play a little bit more spacing, trying to use that projectile property of his orb to keep Anime at bay.
Oh, tried to pick up the gravity cancel side light, not quite. But the recover, picked that one up pretty high, not going to KO just yet.
Dude, honestly, the movement for that recovery was clean. He ended up dashing off the soft platform to lead into that recovery. Wasn't quite enough to KO, but he's getting good damage built up onto Anime.
Didn't quite get the bounce on that. There's the side air. It's from the middle of the stage. Not immediately going to send to the blast zone. Can he clean this one up? Yes! Getting back to the main stage. Anime went straight for the stage rather than going over onto the wall, and Radish was there to punish it with the orb side air.
Anime tries to open, utilizing those weapon tosses with the gauntlets. Side stick thrown out. Radish with the soft punish just goes for the sideline side air.
That was a bold option for Anime to throw out. Like, Radish is only in the orange. I don't think he would be in danger of being knocked out, even though its signature is very strong. But that was just a bold gambit to use right in the middle of the stage. Kind of threw that one out raw. Had no momentum in his favor to sort of put the fear of those gauntlets in Radish just yet. Now he's going back to the gauntlets and actually ends that stock there. Good juggle game coming out from Anime.
Yeah, really good delay to lead to that recovery. And now Anime kind of brought this one back. Nice downlight down air. Unfortunately, couldn't follow up off of that down air, but he's getting the damage built up onto Radish, and this is basically even.
It might actually be starting to lean in Anime's favor, and as I say that, those two huge side airs followed up by the third one, and it is not in Anime's favor any longer. Radish gonna take that stock.
Yeah, solid play from Radish. Really did not want to let Anime get any more close in terms of damage. Now he's back over to the orb and trying to play that spacing game again against Anime.
Look at how much space is between them. Probably like half of the stage or more between these two players. And Anime knows that he's behind, so he's going to have to push at least a little bit here. Or maybe he's just going to try and rely on Radish running out of patience.
I mean, could be a possibility, but at the end of the day, like we've said before, well, I was going to say if he waited for 5 minutes, then Radish would win game number 2, but now Anime did get the hit that he needed, and now Radish has to push as well.
Anime waiting a long time before he's actually going to make any commitment whatsoever. Radish is really kind of having to chase him around this stage.
Oh, there was a burn dodge. Radish with the punish.
Oh, he actually went straight with the gravity cancel neutral signature that time. I thought he was going to wait for their recovery yet again.
Sidelight side air. Puts him off screen. Not going to KO, though.
Ooh, that's going to do it just barely. And Radish takes that game.
Relatively efficiently as well. 552 damage put out from Radish versus the 489 taken, otherwise dealt by Anime. 395 of that was, of course, done by Radish's orb. He generally likes to lean into that orb.
Now we are seeing these games continue to go a little bit longer than sort of the average game that we're used to. That one was just under 4 minutes by the time it was over. So this is definitely testing of the pacing for both of these players. Let's see, the match that they would be going into after this would either be against Luna or against Sandstorm. So either winner here is going to have to go to a drastically different pace change, or at least that's my guess. So we'll see how either of these players can play, maybe at a more quick rate, regardless of whether Luna or Sandstorm wins their set for the top 8 qualifier. But they're going to have to get through this one first. It's tied 1-1 in this set between Radish and Anime.
Yeah, it's very interesting the maps that Anime is leaving on the board. Because he lost the last one, he ended up leaving a lot of very large KO box maps. He definitely wants this one to extend a little bit longer. He got rid of Small Brawlhaven almost immediately.
There we have Anime just like running to one side of the stage and then kind of jumping and fast falling back over towards the middle. Runs to one side of the stage and then jumping and fast falling back towards the middle.
You know, but if he lets Raydish keep getting these taps onto him, would slowly leak in favor of Raydish, but Anime with a nice three-piece gives him a sizable health advantage. Raydish gets caught by the Ensig again. Anime might just start throwing those out because that's twice now that he has led into an Ensig onto Raydish.
Picking up another set of Katars here. This one's going to be the fresh one, so he's not in any danger of being disarmed by getting hit by Raydish. Again, the neutralites into the Ensig.
Oh, the N6 from Anime. Okay, he's found his favorite heavy button, and he is now just pressing it. He is getting all of these projectiles onto Raydish. Anime is looking solid here in game number 3.
He's fighting back, even though he's at the weapon disadvantage, and he picks up the gauntlets, gets the recovery KO off the top. Anime still on his first stock.
And that's got to be upsetting for Raydish because he's like, you're deep red. You're supposed to be running away from me so that I can come hit you, get that single tap, and get this one to second stocks. But now Raydish more than a full stock behind Anime as Anime still sitting on that initial stock. Finally, he'll hit
recovery right off the top. Gonna swap back over to the orb. He still has to take one more stock if he wants to be even with Anime. It's going to be really tough to do.
Yeah, especially with the pace that this one's been going.
Continuing to chase over onto the soft platform. He'll jump forward, then sort of fade back. Use that in-air drift, that sort of solid movement speed that Caspian has as a legend.
That projectile does cause Raydish to run forward, but the damage is being done. Anime is looking to put this one away because he has a sizable lead here in game number 3.
Yep. Ooh, that's going to make contact. Send him over to the left blast zone, even though it was from the far side of the stage, and he's really starting to have to add up that damage. That time he did 613 by the time all was said and done onto Radish. But even though that's sort of a high amount of damage, even though it took a while for him to do it, he still was outpacing Radish by far. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how slow you run the race if the person in second place is still behind you.
Yeah, I mean, even though he had to put out 613 damage, he only took 301. Raydish was not able to even respond to the damage that Anime was putting out. And now we're going into game number 4. Raydish, by the numbers, was supposed to run away with this one. We saw 2 3-0s already to get into the top 8, and right now it's Raydish who is struggling against Anime.
Now we're going over onto the Miami Dome. Radish is going to pick up first weapon here. It is going to be Orb for him, but Anime over on that soft platform picks up the gauntlets very high, almost immediately on spawn.
Light connects from Raydish. Anime catches the movement of Raydish.
So one thing we aren't seeing Radish do at all that he was doing quite a bit, that was one of them. And then also the GC Ensig that we saw a lot of at the Winter Royale. Now he's starting to do that when Anime chooses to go over to the edge. But really, that's been late in the set. That's been a late development for Radish so far.
Yeah, I mean, coming into today, of course, he's already had to go through many matches as pools. He had to go through Cody Travis to get here. So I would be surprised if he's not at least a little bit warm and remembering those options. But right now, Anime kind of picking them all apart. Ooh, no
Ooh, he didn't go for the immediate recovery, didn't go for the gravity cancel neutral sig or anything like that. He was probably worried about burning that dodge over there on the corner, where if Radish like fast fall and was able to get around behind him, could have picked up the side light side air, ending the stock. Radish was able to end it pretty quickly either way. There is a weapon spawn on the field. The unarmed side light gives Anime the room to grab the gauntlets. Throws out the neutral signature, doesn't have the range for it.
Ooh, the recoveries, though. Anime definitely has some good damage built up onto Raydish. Could see this stock get taken out here in just a little bit. A side sig would do it, or a recovery will definitely do it, and Anime evens it up.
Radish going to have to fight at the weapon disadvantage here. Spawn comes in on the right side. Anime was going to play around it, but wasn't able to strip the field in time before Radish grabbed gauntlets, but he's disarmed. That time, Anime is going to be able to grab it right out from underneath Radish. Keep him at the weapon disadvantage, but now after disarming himself, Radish is the one with the orb in his hand, doing some work on that soft platform, but Anime is able to get back, grab the guitars on the left side soft plat.
Radish trying to chase after Anime.
That was a long time before either player threw out a move. You see how much respect they're giving each other, especially when they're this even. A win here for Anime. Radish knows how bad that would be for him because that'd give him the set at 3-1. Radish needs a victory here if he wants to stay in this one, push it to a game 5, and keep his winner's bracket run alive.
Oh, Anime hits the recovery, and Light goes in for the end sig that time. Radish not able to punish, but like you said, they were both really picking and choosing when they wanted to throw out those attacks for a hot minute in the neutral as Anime hits the side sig, and he's one stock away from knocking Radish down to the elimination side. That would be 2 of the Winter Royale representatives in the elimination side of the bracket before top 8.
Ooh, that neutral signature over on the right side, kind of moving him back on the stage. Does make the connection, also gets the stock. That's going to even it up. That's going to put Radish in a much better spot because, yeah, when your opponent's red, you can be feeling like, all right, I'm going to turn this stock around pretty quickly. I'm going to look for my combo setup and find the KO. But all of a sudden, if you start getting hit 3, 4, 5 times, all of a sudden you're in the yellow, your opponent is still in the red. And that can start to weigh on the mind. You can start to get hasty. You can start to get reckless, just desperate for that stock. But that didn't happen. Radish was able to clean it up quickly. Still has the orb in his hand. There is a weapon spawn on the field, so either player could opt for the other weapon in their kit. But no, Radish coming in with the juggles. It's the recovery high.
Couldn't get that last nair there. Anime starting to swing back, though. This is far from over. Side sig thrown out.
Six coming out from Anime. That's just, I'm telling you, that's got to be so scary for Radish. He knows how damaged he is right now. Even that recovery almost taken off the top. There's the side air. Still has Anime in the orange, going high to pick up the recovery. Didn't quite make contact. One more of those has to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Anime's got so much damage built up onto Radish. The neutral light's not going to quite do it. Radish, though, still needs more damage before he can go for that KO onto Anime. And Anime, down light, recovery. Radish going down to the elimination side of the bracket. Anime with the upset.
And here we have it again. Damage done 598. Even though it's slower, even though it's a lot of damage, he is still outpacing Radish at every turn. And at least for this set, that's all that mattered at the end. And he didn't do it in game 5. He did it in game 4.